Okay, so now we are through the first three. Let's go through the last three, okay? Um, Number four, start with campaigns that are at the bottom of the funnel. Get the lowest hanging fruit first, right? So, the lowest hanging fruit, what does that mean? Well, get the things that are easiest to get. For local businesses, this would be search campaigns. For product based businesses, this would be shopping campaigns inside Google Ads. We want to go for the lowest hanging fruit first. So, examples in our beauty esthetician example, if we want eyebrow services near me, right? And that's going to bring up all these examples. If you are in a local geographical area, you'll want to be there for these keywords, right? If you do eyelash extensions near me, same type of deal. Eyelash extensions. I'm in Wicker Park currently. Wicker Park. Again, these are the type of keywords that you would want to consider. You're going to take your number 1 to number 3 product offerings. Let's say it's eyebrows, eyelash extensions, and henna tattoos. I'm just making it up. You'd want to take those three, combine it with a location, or combine it with a near me, and then be able to use those keywords in exact and phrase match. Those are the lowest hanging fruit first, right? And now let's continue on that. We'll look at shopping ads. Well, here shopping ads, it just is product dependent, right? Like if I want dog food, let's see, here's your product ads, right? If you have a specific title and name for dog food or you're a reseller of a certain brand, you're going to want to put that in there. And that's your lowest hanging fruit because people are searching for that brand. You don't have to really generate demand or anything for it, so on and so forth. But we're going to stick with the local business example. Comment me if you'd like me to dive in more to an e-commerce example. I can definitely do that. But for right now, we're going to stick with the local business example, even though the principles still apply. So, with this, it brings us to number 5, which I call the campaign, ad group, ad, and keyword, right? Those are your layers. Campaign, ad group, ad, keyword. Keyword is at the bottom. It's like the heart and soul of Google search. And Google search, that search network, is the best way to get the lowest hanging fruit. So if you have a Google Ads campaign already, first I would say audit the strategy, budget, location, right? If you already have this, go through everything with a fine-tooth comb. Where I would start with the search term report. That's honestly the best place you can go for any search campaign. It's the one that's going to tell you, are the searches that people are searching for and clicking on your ad with, do they match what you intend? It's literally, still to this day, the most important report that we go through, right? I'll show you where that is right now. Okay, so I'm in the campaign view in Google Ads. Where I'm going to go to, so now that I'm in keywords, I'm actually going to click in this drop down and I'm going to click search terms. Okay, so right now I'm in the search term report, and this is the most important report to read because it tells you exactly what searches you're showing up for. This is where you're going to want to be extremely organized because you don't necessarily, even if you see a search in here that you like, you got to see what keyword is generating that search and what campaign is generating that search. And that's where the essence of Google Ads comes from. I'm not going to explain keywords, match types, search terms, and campaign strategy, but what I would say, I have other videos to do that. There's plenty of other ones too. Comment me if you want me to get further into that, how I do it, and how my favorite way to drive success to do that is. But for instance, if I have a name of a business, I want that to be its own campaign, and I want that to be its own keyword. Why? Because that name of the business is going to be very, very prominent. It's going to be very, very low funnel, meaning People that search the name for the business have a high intent to do business because they know your name and they're looking you up. So I want that to be its own campaign so we can separate budget according to that keyword only. And that way it doesn't commingle with people that maybe aren't familiar with the business and maybe actually are for more, looking for a service that you provide, but maybe not know that you're there. That's why I like to separate those out. That's a quick overview of strategy. I'd love to get into that more, keyword strategy, because that's where the heart and soul of it is. But you can get all this insight from the search term report. Highly, 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 highly recommend you go through your search term report regularly. So again, that's another service that we provide our clients, and we show them how to maximize and use that. So, all right. So we cover that, starting with the search term report. Again, that feeds into starting with keywords and working your way outward. Keyword and search terms are the heart and soul of Google Ads search still. And Google Ads search, both shopping for product-based campaigns and just search for local business and or product campaigns, that is the lowest hanging fruit possible. We start with the lowest hanging fruit, we maximize the lowest hanging fruit, and we move up the marketing funnel from there. That's what we call reverse engineering the marketing funnel. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to hear more about that. I'd love to talk about this stuff. I think I made videos on this stuff. I've made so many videos at this point, I don't even know what I made. So, finally, we're at number 6. Let it run. 70% of campaign learning happens in the first 3 weeks or so. So you should have a general idea if you're on the right track within that time, or even sooner. Okay. Once you've picked a budget, right? Once you have gone through all of these previous steps, you launch your campaign and you let it run. You have to let it run, and you have to not mess with it for at least a couple weeks. At least. There are instances where we can't mess with campaigns for months. However, I don't say that as a best practice in a one-size-fits-all, because typically, if you're newer, or if you've been running Google Ads for a while, or if you have a smaller budget with a more commoditized, I shouldn't say commoditized, but maybe competitive business model, car dealership, eyelash, services, plumber, things like that, you should get results pretty damn quickly. Sorry for swearing. It just kind of came out. But you should be able to get results pretty quickly as far as, are you on the right track? Is the campaign's going to be totally optimized in 3 days? I've seen some examples, yes, but most of the time, no. But you should be able to tell within the first 3 to 7 days if you're at least on the right track. I wouldn't make any changes in that time, but you should be at least able to see, am I on the right track? Then with that, in the first 2 to 3 weeks, you should get 70% of the results you're going to get, or at least a baseline. Again, there are a lot of exceptions. Conversion tracking being deprecated, throws a wrench into all of that. And we'll have more videos upcoming on that topic. But you should be able to determine if you're on the right track or not. So that's why I say let it run. 70% of your results, or at least 70% of your baseline, will be determined within the first few weeks normally, right? This is a general statement. Okay, guys, so that's how to get more conversions with Google Ads. You'll notice one item I did not cover extensively is determining budget. The reason why is because budget has a different type of consideration. A lot of smaller businesses usually have a budget that they start out with and say, okay, this is how much I can use. What can you do for me? And that's where the strategy implementation and things like that go to work. So I could make a separate video about how to determine budget and how to best do that. Other businesses have a more performance-based model, meaning we can scale as long as the budget scaling actually leads to more and more results. So that would be more of a national or e-commerce situation where, you just want to get more orders and sales. Local businesses typically have limitations on scalability. Well, every business has limitations on scalability, but Local businesses seem to have, more strict ones and typically smaller budgets, but that doesn't mean that, you can't scale and do things like that. So that's why I left budget out of this video series. This concludes the second part of this video. Get more conversions with Google Ads. I hope this helps. Please leave any comments about how I can help you further, about what questions you have. Of course, this resource doc will be made available. And that's it. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you have a great day. This is David Feldman-Makrias, and I will see you soon.